Evermore Beauties, welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're new here, I create all things vintage and book related videos, lifestyle, DIYs, anything like that. It's just all around like just weird, quirky kind of channel. If you're interested in that kind of thing, if that's your vibe, please like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you'll never miss any of my upcoming videos. And so you can be a part of my Evermore fam. I would love to have you. And with that said, let's go ahead and jump into this, kind of like chatty, get ready with me / talk about all my favorite books video. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and start with the eyes. My eyes are already primed and ready to go. I just threw on a little bit of this Ace Beauty eyeshadow amplifying base in the shade medium, and so far I like it. It just, I don't know, it glided on really well, and it made my my eyelids look super smooth and like a blank canvas. So I really like that. So that's what we got so far. And then I just added a little bit of my Nakia Joy Cosmetics translucent powder. I don't know why I can't talk right now, goodness. First I'm going to be using the Violet Voss Violet Sunset palette. I got this in my recent BoxyCharm, of which most of the products that I'm going to be using today are from what month are we in? From November's BoxyCharm. So yeah, I was super excited to get these products, and I just wanted to kind of play with them and see if they're good or not, and then also talk about books, which is what I'm super excited about for this video. I'm just going to be chatting about like what my favorite books are and just kind of giving you guys some recommendations, just in case you are looking for like a new book to read, or looking for another world to escape to the same way that I do. But first I'm going to go in with the shade Blush right here. It's just this beautiful pink, like kind of like mauvey pink shade. And I love Violet Voss shadows. Like, I've never had any problems with them in the past. I have a few of her eyeshadow palettes, and I love how easy they are to work with. So books, let's start talking about books. I would say for my all-time favorite book, and this is really hard for me because I really honestly don't have like an all-time favorite one, because I literally have so many favorites. I love books more than life itself. Like, books are everything. So I would say the one that's like pretty like close up there, or if not the number one for me, would probably be Shiver by Maggie Stiefvater. Oh my goodness, it's a trilogy, but she did like kind of like add to it. So there is like another book. So I guess you could say it's a series now. But originally it was a trilogy, and you can get away with just like reading the trilogy, because the fourth book is kind of like a spin-off, I guess you could say. But yeah, it's such a good trilogy. Like, but Shiver in general, like the first book in that series, it's just it's literally everything. And I don't know why, like, I've seen some people like not really care for it and say that it wasn't that great, and kind of give it a little bit of bad reviews. But for me, it like changed my life. Like, it literally changed the way I like saw things, and how I felt about books, and it really made me fall in love with reading and being able to like just jump into a whole nother world and kind of escape my world. So yeah, I would highly recommend Shiver, or the whole series in general, because it's such a good one. It's basically about this guy. His name is Sam, and he's a teenager, but he's like, I can't even remember, maybe like 18, 19 years old. And no, I would say like 17 or 18. And he is a wolf, and I know it sounds crazy, but stay with me. He is a werewolf, but he turns into just like it's kind of like just a normal looking wolf. Like, whenever he changes, it's not like he's this crazy like scary like beast or anything like that. He's just this beautiful normal looking wolf. And he in the winter he changes into a wolf, and he stays a wolf for the whole winter. And then during the summer, he stays, you know, anytime it's the warmer weather, he stays a human. So for the majority of the year, he is human, but when it does get cold, he is a wolf, and he loses a part of himself each year that he changes. And it continues to, like, you know, get worse. But the whole point of the story basically is that he is completely in love with this girl. Her name is Grace, and she's absolutely incredible. She's such an amazing character. Um, she she's literally everything. So he just kind of like watches her, like, and I know it sounds kind of creepy, but I mean, like, in a sense, like when he's a wolf, she lives by the forest, and he just, whenever he's a wolf, he watches her and just makes sure that, you know, she's okay and stuff like that. And she like knows, like, she calls him like her wolf, like she knows that, like, he's there kind of like to protect her. And it's a whole thing. She's really connected to these wolves, to his pack in general. And there is a backstory to that, but I don't really want to get into that. I don't want to spoil too much. All I have to say, it's a beautiful love story, but at the same time, like, the world building is what really gets you. Like, literally, Maggie Stiefvater, the way she writes, the way she describes the surroundings and, like, the world and everything that they're seeing and that they're feeling, it's like no other. Like, she is a true writer. Like, literally, I don't even know how she does it. She makes it sound so magical. Like, she makes the world just seem, and she's describing, like, really, like, normal, like, mundane things, like, you know, like a fall, a beautiful fall, like, crisp fall day, basically. But she puts it into such beautiful words, and just the way she describes it all, it literally makes you feel like you're there, like you're standing in the forest with them, and that, you know, you're feeling all the feels, and you're completely immersed in the story. Like, it's so easy to get lost in that story. And that's what I love about Maggie Stiefvater's storytelling. Like, literally, it's so easy for you to get lost in her stories, because she's so good at it. Like, so good. And she's an amazing author. I absolutely love her, and I do want to read the rest of her books. I had never really gotten around to it, but that's definitely on my list for next year. I have this, like, whole list, and I'm definitely going to do a video on my TBR for January, because starting in January, I do want to start doing reading vlogs and making, you know, TBRs and wrap-ups and all of that good stuff. I just really want to show you guys, like, how much I love to read and how much books really do mean to me. So that's definitely gonna happen in January for sure. Like, I want it to be like a fresh start for the new year, so I have that planned. So I hope you guys are gonna come along with me for the journey, and I hope you love books as much as I do, because it's gonna be so much fun next year, like, really just diving into all of these different worlds and stories and stuff. So yeah, I can't wait for that. But yeah, back to Shiver. It's such an amazing book, and trust me, even once you start Shiver, like, you won't be able to not read the, you know, the next two in the trilogy, and then, you know, the spin-off. So yeah, it's so good. And with this pretty, like, lilac, which the shade is named Lilac, of course, and put that right on the outer V and into the crease. And this shade as well isn't very pigmented. It's very light, especially on my skin tone. And see how soft, like, that looks? That just looks so pretty. It's just, I don't have much dimension. That's the only thing. Okay, and I'm just gonna bring a little bit more into the crease. I don't want to cover up that first shade that I used, the blush shade, because it's such a pretty mauve shade. I just want to add a little bit more purple to the look. And I would say another super favorite of mine would be literally anything from VC Andrews. I highly recommend her, any of her books. Like, literally, she can do no wrong. She has done no wrong. Like, she's such a legend. If you haven't heard of her, like, then you've probably been living under a rock, because she's so well known and so loved. And, you know, her books are so good that they turn them into movies on Lifetime, and they're such good movies. Like, some of them, yeah, they are a little cheesy and can be a little bit cringe, But if you're like a diehard like VC Andrews fan, like you're not gonna care about the acting, you're not gonna care about the actors, you're just gonna care about the story and what it represents. So yeah, I highly recommend any books from VC Andrews. But if you are looking for like a specific book from her, I would say her best work is definitely Flowers in the Attic, the series. It's called the Dollenganger series, and it just, the Flowers in the Attic follows these four children who had a great life, who were middle class and really happy. And the main character, her name is Kathy, and she is, I believe she is 12 when the book starts. And basically her father gets into a car accident and he passes away. And this is back in, I believe, like the 50s or 60s. So like their mom wasn't like working or anything like that. She was kind of just like the stay-at-home typical, like take care of the kids kind of mom. Like she was not about like trying to like go and work and like be independent or anything like that. She just really wanted to be kind of like a trophy wife. When he passed away, they lost everything. Their mother wasn't able to provide for them, so she decided to take them to her parents' house in Virginia. And her mom is very, very religious, very strict, and literally hated her. So then she like hated the kids, and thought that they were like the devil's spawn and stuff. But that's like for a whole nother story. There's a reason why she felt that way towards her daughter and towards her grandkids. So anyways, back to the story. She takes them there, and it leads to the kids getting locked up in an attic. That's why it's called Flowers in the Attics, because they just kind of like represent like wilting flowers, like being stuck in the attic, because they end up being in the attic for, I believe, 3 or 4 years. And it's crazy. Like there's so much stuff that happens, like I can't even describe it to you. It's such a crazy story, but it's so worth it, and it's so good. And there's never a dull moment in that book. Like literally, it's so good. And the whole series as a whole, like, it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. So I would highly, highly recommend the Dollenganger series for sure if you're looking for a good VC Andrews series. But if that that kind of thing is like not your vibe, then I would definitely go with the Castile series. Oh my goodness, that's on a whole nother level. Like if you love family drama and secrets and just literally all of the feels, like everything that you can feel like in one series, then the Castile series is where it's at. Like amazing, amazing, amazing series. And I don't know, I love anything that VC Andrews has ever come out with. I've never had not one. I think I can easily say I've read almost all of her books, and she has so many books, and there has not been not one that I didn't love. And that's saying something. Like that shows like how amazing of an author that she really was. And it breaks my heart to know that she's not with us anymore, because like she was such an artist, like so amazing. So yeah, I really, really think you guys should check out VC Andrews, any of her books. Okay, now I'm gonna add some depth to it, and I just want to, I think, add a little bit of this dusk shade, the darkest shade in the palette. And I'm just gonna take this angled brush. This is one of the brushes that I got in my recent BoxyCharm, and yeah, it's just kind of like an angled, like fluffy brush. I'm just gonna take a little bit of this dusk color, like very, very little, because I don't want this look to like get crazy and like get out of hand. Like I literally just want a little bit of definition, and I just want it all to like, I'm just gonna put a little bit in the crease as well. Another author that you guys should really, really check out, if you're into just like classic like romance books, so with a little bit of a twist, like kind of like time travel, and like a really, really good like blown out like slow burn story, I would highly recommend Jude Devereaux. She's such a good author. I've read, I would say, like 4 or 5 of her books, and they've all been incredible. I absolutely love them. I really want to collect them. I don't own, I think I own maybe one, but I really do want to own all of them. Like, I'm really, really into romance books, but I'm also into like a lot of fantasy, anything supernatural. I do want to try to get into thriller books as well, because like I love like slasher movies and like any kind of like horror movies. Like, I absolutely love that. So I feel like, and I've never really read like a, like, you know, a thriller, like a spooky book, but I've always wanted to get into that genre. I just have never done it because I'm always drawn to romance. I'm always drawn to like stories that I could really get wrapped up in. So that is done. Now I think I'm just gonna go ahead and put a little bit of the Violet Sunset shade, like I said, right on my lid, and I'm just gonna use my finger. You know me, anytime I do my lid shade, I always use my finger because I feel like that's the best application for lid shades for any kind of duochrome or shimmery shade. It applies it so beautifully. Pretty much the eye look, I just gotta do the bottom part. And yeah, I'm obsessed with this look. It's so pretty. Excuse this huge pimple right on my eye. It just, ugh. I'm not vibing with it, not at all. I'm gonna go in with the glossy Touch and Soul, the glassy Touch and Soul. It's a pretty filtered glassy skin balm. So looks like this. Got it in a previous BoxyCharm last year sometime. I don't even have that much left. Cool. And I do need to try to use this up because I've had it for way too long. I'm gonna use the Kat Von D or the KVD Beauty Lock-It powder foundation in the shade Fair 115. This is another product that I got in my recent BoxyCharm. I don't know if it's gonna match me. It says Fair 115, so I don't know. That looks a little light, so I'm kind of scared, but I do want to test it out and see what I think about it. So first, before I put that on, because it's a powder foundation, I'm going to go in with a little bit of concealer. Go ahead and use the ColourPop Pretty Fresh. You guys have seen me use this plenty of times on here on my channel. I absolutely love this concealer, and I'm using the shade Medium 105 Neutral. And I just feel like it's like the perfect consistency and perfect shade for me, and it just, I don't know, it covers everything that I need it to without making me look like cakey and like I'm wearing makeup. Like, my skin still like looks like skin. So I'm just putting a little bit on just to kind of give me some coverage. I'm just going to use a beauty sponge to like sharpen up my eyeshadow a bit and really blend everything out. So let's see, back to the books. Another like all-time favorite of mine would definitely be The Wind Blows Backwards, and I do own that one. And you guys, I read this when I was, I want to say like 10 or 11, and it has stayed with me since then. Like, literally it like really like stuck with me. It's just one of those books that I fell in love with and I never looked back. Like, it has such a special place in my heart. Same thing for like the Flowers in the Attic book and all the whole series in general, the Dollenganger series. Like, literally I love it so much. But back to The Wind Blows Backwards. It's such a good book, and it's by Mary Downing Hans. It will forever stay with you. Like, if you read that book, trust me, it's gonna stay with you because it's so dark and kind of like twisted, but at the same time it's so beautiful and so innocent, and it just, I don't know, it just rips your heart out. Like, she makes you like fall in love with these characters and like really get invested in them and their lives, and just it's a great one. And it is, you know, a love story, of course, but it's not just a love story. It talks, you know, there are trigger warnings. It does talk about anxiety and depression and suicide and just all the things that a lot of people, especially in the 90s, because I believe it came out in the 90s, a lot of people back then were afraid to talk about. Like, nobody really talked about that kind of stuff. So I love how she incorporated that into her book, especially like a young adult book, because it, you know, it's a hard thing to talk about, these hard subjects, but they still need to be talked about. Like, it's like it shouldn't be something that we're silent about. So yeah, it's such a great book. It's amazing. But it just follows these two teenagers that used to be best friends in middle school, and when they get to high school, it's a boy and a girl. When they get to high school, the boy becomes super popular and he's rich and just, you know, has a lot of friends and completely forgets about the girl, just acts like she doesn't even exist, and completely breaks her heart because she was in love with him, or how she, you know, so she thought, however you can be in love with someone in middle school. But yeah, she at that time really felt like she was in love with him, and he completely shattered her and broke her heart because of, you know, just ignoring her and acting like she didn't exist, which is as cruel as you can get when it comes to being a teenager and being that way. Like, it's just, it was awful. So she had a really, really hard time in high school, and didn't really have too many friends. She only had like one best friend. And anyways, the last year of high school, like their senior year, he decides to like talk to her and start to try to be friends with her again. And she can tell that, you know, he's going through a lot and that he's dealing with some stuff, because he did have some, like, you know, as you can, like, kind of like suicidal tendencies. And like he just like he had a lot of problems that he didn't know how to work through. So the book is just basically their love story, and like how she like kind of helps him get through the tough time that he's dealing with, and the thing that really kind of like messed him up. Like, he went through a very traumatic experience, and whenever he was a child, that just, it really, really kind of like changed the way that he viewed life, and the way that he was, and how he treated people around him. So yeah, it's such a great book. I don't want to say too much about it because I don't want to give anything away. I just think you should definitely like read it for yourself. It's so amazing. It's so beautifully written, and the story is just, I don't know, there's no comparison. Like, such a good story. Now I'm gonna go ahead and go in with the KVD Locket Powder Foundation. I don't even know how to do this. And then I guess I'm gonna use the little sponge that comes with it. But this looks very light. I don't think this is gonna match me. I don't know if I should like just pat it in. Yeah, like, look at that. That is so not my shade. I don't know why, but like most of the time I feel like powder foundations just don't look good on me. Like, they just always make me look cakey, and like it makes my makeup look all like scaly in a way. Maybe I just don't put it on right or what, but I tried the L'Oreal Infallible, I believe, or maybe it was like the Freshwear Infallible powder foundation a while back, and that did not look good on me whatsoever. I looked like I was like really scaly, like I looked like a reptilian or something. But I don't know how I'm gonna fix this. Like, I'm starting to look like a ghost right now. Now that I look like a ghost, I look crazy. I am gonna use a little bit of bronzer to kind of like, I don't know. I don't even know if I should use this bronzer because I feel like warm up my skin and bring my skin like back to life. Okay, yeah, that kind of matches my neck. Cool. So we're just gonna go with the flow with this. Never thought I'd be putting bronzer literally all over. I'm gonna add a little bit of my butter bronzer by Physicians Formula, just to kind of give me a little bit of a glow, because I just feel like I look a little flat now. That's better. See how that just livened up my skin? Like, that's such a pretty bronzer. This will always be my all-time favorite. Nothing compares to the butter bronzer. Just put my highlight on. Okay, so this is what my skin is looking like so far. Not too bad. The color for me, I don't know, I still feel like it's a little off, but yeah, not bad. Let's go ahead and do my under eyes. Hollow, and it's by Jessica Verde, and it's just amazing, like literally amazing. The characters are just, they're so, they're so complicating, like they feel like real because of how many issues they have, and just, I don't know, they're not just like these perfect characters that, you know, fall in love and all of that. Like, there's so much more to the story, and it's so good. And it's basically about a ghost and a girl that fall in love, and it's timeless. Like, literally the story is just timeless. So I highly recommend The Hollow if you are looking for something like in that genre, by Jessica Verde. It's amazing. Almost done. Now I'm just going to use the Fenty Beauty mascara. For my lipstick, I'm going to use all-time classic, the Milani lipstick in the shade Teddy Bear. I just feel like this lipstick, it's such a beautiful neutral nude shade that it goes with any look, whether it's warm or cool tone. I'm going to go ahead and use the Rowan lip gloss in Charlie. I use the Dewy Set Anastasia Beverly Hills spray. To set everything in place. Alrighty guys, this is the completed look. We had a lot of fails and a lot of problems throughout this video, but we pulled it all together, and I feel like the look came, I feel like the look came out like really just beautiful. Like, I love how soft my eyeshadow looks, and it just, I don't know, I love these colors. It's so pretty. I hope you guys like it as well. Like, I don't know, I love makeup and books, so I felt like, you know, combining the two would be a really interesting video. And I don't really see too many people doing that, you know, where they kind of talk about books and stuff and play with makeup at the same time. So I definitely want to make this kind of video, like, you know, into a series, and make several videos surrounding books and makeup. So if you guys are interested in that, please give it a thumbs up. Give this video a thumbs up so I know that, like, it's something that you guys enjoy, and so I can create more of them, because I had so much fun doing this, and, you know, just kind of like chilling with you guys and talking to y'all about all of my favorite books. And oh, I can't wait to talk to you guys about things that I want to read next year, and you know, just anything book wise. I can't wait to really delve into that world. I'm so excited. I really, really hope you guys come along with me on this journey. I feel like it'll be so much fun to just really share this with you. So yeah, I'm super excited about that. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you'll never miss any of my upcoming videos, and so you can be a part of my Evermore fam. I would just absolutely love to have you. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. All my love.